and welcome to National Focus for Thursday, June 6, 2024. I am Aaliyah Martin. The headlines: Dominica's cable car project on track, new village council to prioritize community engagement, and Fisheries division ready for 2024 hurricane season. The details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. The $275 million cable car project in the Roseau Valley is right on schedule to making its December 2025 completion date. Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and his team led the local media on a site visit of the project today. What will be the longest cable car in the world will provide easier access and reduce travel time to the iconic Boiling Lake, creating jobs and boosting the island's tourism and the local economy.
The whole intention of the government, as part of the government's overall vision and strategy, is to have such projects that can enhance the attractiveness of Dominica. We have a world wonder in the Boiling Lake, but the reality is, because of access to the Boiling Lake, it is prohibitive for majority of people to get there. And even those of us who may have the ability physically to get there, you will have to prepare yourself both physically and mentally for this long trek. There are many who have attempted and fallen, just a few yards away and never got to actually seeing it after having walked for 3 hours and a half. And so this lends itself to the opportunity for everybody, irrespective of your physical circumstance, to be able to enjoy the magnificence of the Boiling Lake.
The Prime Minister said the project would be Dominica's major tourism attraction, just as Niagara Falls is to Canada and the Eiffel Tower is to Paris, France.
And so we have the best cable car construction company in the world from Austria building this. And of course we have seen there, it's amazing. You can see the quality of the construction. You can see that they've taken into consideration a number of very important variables. And so it's left to us now to be positive stewards and positive ambassadors as Dominicans, and to see how we can ensure that we can sell this as a major attraction. This is a major attraction, as in countries you promote landmark attractions. The world goal is in Paris it is the Eiffel Tower. In India is the Taj Mahal. In Canada is Niagara Falls and all of the associated amenities and so on. So this is something that we're gonna have to use to really build our competitiveness and enhance our attractiveness. And lure tourists into coming to Dominica, because we need more tourists in Dominica.
Minister for Tourism, the Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton, expects the cable car to complement the island's other tourism attractions.
This project definitely will create a lot more traffic in the Roseau Valley and increase economic activity in this area. Secondly, it will benefit the local community because more tour guides are going to be needed. More taxi operators are going to be needed. So it's going to create a major opportunity for people involved in the taxi industry right now to invest in more coaster buses, or it may require new entrants in the industry, because depending on the number of people we have to bus up there on a daily basis, there will certainly create a demand. So it is empowering people in the local community to take advantage of that opportunity. So invest in a coaster bus. the tour guides, restaurant owners. They will have a restaurant on site at the top station, but it'll only be able to sit 150. But we do know that most tourists like authentic experiences when they come to Dominica. So they'd want to explore the local communities, they'd want to go to the hot springs. So you can imagine the number of people that will be coming to the wellness capital of Dominica because of this significant project.
The tourism minister is already preparing to increase the visibility of this and other projects.
So we are very much focused on capacity building at this moment and developing our marketing plans to promote this project. The marina is another major project for us, and it's definitely going to transform the yachting sector. I know the guys in the industry are very excited about this project, and we have already started to discuss promoting the marina before the construction officially starts, because you go to a lot of yachting shows and you have forums and events, and you have to start now to promote that Dominica is going to have the best marina in the next 2 years. So all this groundwork happens before, and we constantly consult with stakeholders. We meet with them to plan on how we're going to push Dominica and the major projects we have that's going to transform our economy, create greater employment for our people, and definitely bring more revenue to the country. Everybody likes more money, and this is what the CBI funds have been doing. We have been investing in infrastructural projects that's going to transform our country so more people can come to Dominica, which is going to increase consumption and greater spend in the country. And so that is how we're going to sustain our economy.
Parliamentary representative for the Roseau Valley and Minister for Finance, the Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, believes the project's economic potential is significant.
Yes, this is a major project, and it means a lot to us in the constituency. As a matter of fact, every other person I greeted here this morning is from my constituency, so you can imagine the sort of economic impact it's having in terms of employment and how much money is being driven into the Roseau Valley economy. So it really means a lot to us. But apart from that, this is, as the Prime Minister was saying, this is actually just a part of the puzzle of the big economic infrastructure, this modern economic infrastructure that we're putting down here in Dominica. That's the basis, that's the platform that that's going to propel our economy from here. And let alone this, I mean, if you look at the employment part of it, we're also going to have the geothermal plant being built. So even as the PM said, some people may be concerned about employment after, but very soon the geothermal plant will start, and very soon even the transmission lines from Loda to Roseau will start. So unemployment is really a thing of the past in the Roseau Valley. If anything, we seek to get people to on all these projects. So that's the list of our concerns, and it really helps our economy a lot. But such development, it's just not only from a sustainable point of view, but it's also the responsible way that we're approaching this sort of development. We are not harming the environment in any way. If anything, we are preserving the environment. And if anything, one of the 6 result areas of NRDS and CRRP is actually harnessing our potential, what we have, to make the best out of it, which is what geothermal for one and our natural beauty for one. So that's all part of the resilience journey that Dominica is on, making the best use of what we have.
He says what's left is for Dominicans to prepare to take advantage of these major development projects.
Obviously, this helps with our tourism product. If you were to have 2,000 cruise visitors come in and they all stay in Roseau, I didn't get an opportunity to spend their money when they get out to go to the Boyne Lake on the cable car. That would be money lost. But now with this sort of development, they can even spend more time in Dominica, spend more money in Dominica, and it's just a win-win for us. And but the issue now is, with all of this going on, is how do we position ourselves to make best use of this and to take advantage of all this development? Because this is, government can only do so much. When we have all these projects, whether it's the marina, whether it's the international airport, whether it's the cable car, whether it's the geothermal, all the different projects going on. But how do we as citizens, how do we as Dominicans position ourselves so we can make the best use of those and take advantage of these projects?
The communities of Maho, Jimmet and Taru were filled with hope on Wednesday as they welcomed the new village council. The 13th inaugural meeting saw the swearing in of 8 councillors, with Catherine Marcia Dublin being announced as the new chairperson. The other councillors joining her are Alvin Esprit, Roger Francis, Bertley Anthony, Shima Anil Etienne, Diana Roberts, Siobhan Vigilant, and Marvelyn Sobers. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit encouraged the councillors to take on more than just the ordinary micro-issues, such as beautification. He suggested that one area they could tackle is sensitization on chronic, non-communicable diseases.
I want us to engage ourselves in this community on public education, public sensitization, because through education, I believe we can save lives in the process. So I want us to pay attention to this. I would like also suggest to us that we must ensure that we look out for each other, especially the vulnerable in our community. I say publicly, and we say so because this is entrenched in our thinking, that we do not only have a political responsibility to the vulnerable, but we have a biblical responsibility to the vulnerable. And we must never escape that responsibility of ensuring that we care for the less fortunate.
Parliamentary Representative for Maho constituency, Honorable Kasani Laville, expressed confidence in the new council's abilities.
I'm assured that we have a solid team, my friends. And I repeat, a solid team. And this is my first charge to you. Always be unified and work together. It will not be easy, but use your purpose on this council as motivation. It will not be easy. You have come forward with the role of serving your community and, most importantly, the people.
Government is committed to collaborating with village councils to foster a strong sense of community and build thriving neighborhoods.
Let me urge you to embrace your new roles with a sense of duty, integrity, and accountability. Let us work together to address the challenges that we face in whatever area of community development, and let us do so with the best interest of our people. As you begin your journey, envision a Maho, a Jimit, and a Taru that you'd like to see in the future, and do your utmost to harness the wisdom, the strength, and support of everyone in your community to make it happen. Whilst much has been done, there is still much more to do. So I encourage you to get started. Take some time to review the strategic plans of the past council, decide on your own priorities, and forge ahead.
Chairperson Catherine Marcia Dublin commended the outgoing council for their commitment during their tenure, expressing gratitude for their dedication and urging them to continue offering their support. She also emphasized the significance of community involvement in their initiatives, stressing the need for meaningful engagement.
Our approach to this whole process of governance is bottom-up, not top-down. So our people's input is given great consideration because they are the ones that we serve. Engaging community is essential. So we'll be meeting with different sectors within the community, the health, business, religious, law authority, with the youth, women, men, community-based groups, as well as extension officers. Site visits to the different hamlets within the communities will be conducted and discussions will be held with the people.
The council's strategic focus will be centered on some key areas to include health and wellness, sports, entrepreneurship, training and education, infrastructure, environment, as well as culture and heritage. To ensure effective governance, councillors will be assigned to specific portfolios that align with their expertise and strength. The council was first inaugurated in 1988. The Fisheries Division is prepared for the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, which began on Saturday, June 1. Chief Fisheries Officer Mr. Derek Theophil says the Fisheries Division started preparations very early for the hurricane season. He explained that the division stays informed on weather conditions in order to prevent any major tragedy.
One of the areas that gets very disruptive during hurricane season is the seas. Our fishermen cannot go to sea when there's disruptive weather. So for example, this week, I believe on Tuesday, there was some disruptive weather and no fisherman could go to sea out there, at least here in Roseau. So that was disrupting their operations because they know if they go out there that they can end up in some situation where they would make a capsize or something, what can happen. As a result, we at the Fisheries Division try to keep abreast of the weather conditions as much as possible. So whenever we follow the Met Office, of course, the reports that they give daily, and whenever there's some sort of condition that we know that might be dangerous for the fishermen to be out at sea, we will give an advance warning of that and tell the fishermen that they should not go out to sea on some of those days. So that's one of the things that we do.
A database was also created to keep track on all assets under the Fisheries Division.
We need to understand basically who might be disrupted under these conditions, right? So we've been working a lot in terms of setting up and developing a database of our fishing fleet, that is our fishing boats, as well as the fishermen and also the assets that are associated with fishing, so gear, engines and so forth, that might be disrupted and or affected by the passage of any sort of adverse weather conditions and so. So we have a database system in place. Additionally, we try to get fishermen to come and get registered so we know that they're there, and so that in the event that something does happen, that they are aware that a precondition for getting any sort of assistance from government is that they be registered first. So that way we can help them in terms of anything, if in case of anything happens, we can provide that level of support and service for them.
Attention is also being placed on aquaculture farmers to ensure that their properties are not damaged.
We don't have many, about 10 or so aquaculture farmers. But they do have a substantial investment in terms of ponds that they've dug up and then lined and prepared, and also they are fishing there or shrimp that they're trying to develop and grow as a product, a commodity. So we do monitor them and we help them out as well and make sure that, especially post-Maria, that where their ponds, the farms are located, that's away from any sort of major areas where there can be flooding. And if they are in a flood area, that they put in protections that prevent the water from getting into the ponds and disrupting the operations there. In some cases, they might have to change where they have their pump that pulls the water from the river source, water source, into the ponds and so on.
Another area being monitored by the Fisheries Division this hurricane season is the mariculture sector.
We've worked with them to also warn them when storms are coming that they're aware that they should remove their stuff from the water, help them to figure out how to do that, help them in terms of the placement of their lines of CMOS in the water, so that it's not an area where they cannot easily access, so if they have to swim to it or whatever the case may be. In one case, we helped one group with the procurement of a boat for a project. So that because where the CMOS operation was just too deep, they had to swim to get there every time, and they would have to be renting out a boat from a fisherman. So we helped them procure a boat so that they themselves could operate their boat and go out there and retrieve their CMOS whenever they need to, whether for harvesting or if they need to retrieve it from the water quickly in case there's any sort of event coming, waves or storm surges or so forth happening.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. Head of the United Nations Development Program UNDP Dominica Project Office, Mr. Justin Schoen, restated the commitment of UNDP to continue in support Dominica in achieving its mission of becoming the first climate resilient nation in the world.
I'm very pleased to be given a few minutes to show our solidarity with the government, the support that we provide to the government, and the continued and what we hope will be increasing relationship and partnership with the government, supporting the government in the work that it does to achieve the very ambitious goal of the first climate resilient country in the world. And this is something that many countries in the Pacific, where I've recently come from, are very envious of. What has been done so far and this ambition that is in place. So congratulations to everybody involved.
UNDP has provided support through the implementation of a number of programs and initiatives to enhance recovery, resilience, livelihood, strengthening, and social safety and welfare.
UNDP's support is steadfast. We have a very proud history and partnership at a technical level, but also at a political level with our partners here, including with the Ministry of Finance. We have a number of projects other ministries, Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Environment. And together, they all pull together to provide the support that we are very proud of and we actually replicate. So lessons and activities that UNDP does in Dominica are shown as best practice by UNDP in other countries that we work in, and in particular in small island development states. So this is something we are very proud of, and you should also all be very proud of.
UNDP was bestowed the Dominica Award of Honor for their significant contribution to development during Dominica's 43rd independence celebration and continues to work alongside government to advance sustainable development and resilience. The senior men's national football team suffered a major setback in their bid to qualify for the next round of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers as they went down to Guatemala in tough conditions in their opening match on Wednesday. The support of the Guatemalan fans at the Doroteo Guamuch Flores Stadium was overwhelming as their fans created a hostile environment. The conditions also did not help Dominica's team in any favor as the rain came and the temperatures dropped into the low 60s right at kickoff. After entering the halftime period 2-0, the Dominica Nature Boys conceded another 4 goals in the second period, with the game ending 6-0. Head coach of the Dominica national football team, Mr. Ellington Sabin, says while the end result was disappointing, the game should be seen as a lesson as they move forward in the qualifiers.
The score was very disappointing, I must say. I did not see 6 goals scoring against us. What we'll take from that is we need to increase our speed of play, and hopefully we'll do that for the next game or the games in the future. Clearly, we need to do a lot of improvement, especially in our speed of play, to come up against opponents like Honduras and Guatemala. So we have to keep going. We have 3 more games to play, so we have to keep going. It's not like we can not play the games, we have to play them. So we have to motivate ourselves and come up for the next game. We have another game on Sunday, so that's the next focus.
Meantime, Dominica will face Jamaica in their home game of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers on Sunday, June 9 at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium from 3 p.m. Tickets for the game can be bought from the Dominica Football Association at $25. Coming up next, the Creole News Highlight with Janu Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel en créole, nom M. Geno Jacob. Premier ministre Dominique, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, visité un projet pour transporter touristes à Socab, ça c'est cable car pour voir Bordin l'éclat. Visite là pour plage Jordi en chemin Loda. Cable car dominicain a autant bénéfices pour le développement touriste. Nous parlons et puis Paul John Hope, supervisor projet A.
So c'est moi qui a conduit toute construction qui a point place là et puis tout ces travailler avec foreman. So moi ni about 5 foreman à le travail là avec moi ni about 104 travailler. So projet là même c'est un beau projet pour pays là. Et c'est un beau projet pour nom qui n'est l'État, nom qui pas n'est l'État, qui travaille pour comprendre ça qui amène un petit pain bail, un petit l'argent, un petit bail pour famille, pour y point qui a famille toute bagaille. So avec pour les tout ces travail là, ils ont objectif, vous comprenez? Yo ka fait travail yo pas ka ba problème tout le monde connaît ça pour faire yo ka suivre comment on va dire ça instructions.
Plus qu'il y a 100 Dominicains employés, travailleurs qui ont payé bon l'argent à ce projet.
Pour y a tapé c'est bon pour tous les jours nous gagnons beaucoup à marcher venir mettre non yo mais nous pas capable nous pas ça pour tout le monde une fois qu'on projet là qui a développé, qui a ouvert, qui a grandi, nous avons mené les gens de temps en temps. Quand des semaines qui passaient, moi mené à 25 travailleurs neufs qui mettaient moi et puis en force travailler en 105.
Communauté Maho, Jimit et Pitaru, Nyon Council Village Neuf, 8 councillors pour un serment. Marcia Dublin, c'est chairman Nefla, Les autres consulats là, c'est Alvin Esprit, Roger Francis, Butley Anthony, Shema Anil Etienne, Diana Roberts, Chevron Vigilant et puis Maveline Sobaz. Premier ministre Dominic Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt encourage le consulat pour prendre opportunité projet comme beautification, maladie comme tension et puis diabète, ces maladies ils veulent adresser. Par le pour constituency Maho, Honorable Kassani Laville, n'a confiance en habilité consulat. Chef programme développement États-Unis en Dominique, M. Justin Sean dit qu'il va continuer à supporter Dominique venir premier pays résilience climatique en la terre. Il plaidait solidarité en une cérémonie jour environnement la terre. UNDP a financé autant de programmes en développement Dominique. Dominique ja honoré UNDP pendant la célébration indépendance l'année passée. Ça, c'est tout à ce nouvel en créole. Non, Monsieur Geno Jacob, au revoir.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Aaliyah Martin. Thank you for watching.